Good morning, Mario, and good morning, Switch fans. Gosh, I missed you all yesterday. I'm in the middle of packing up my entire house, so it's insanely busy, but thankfully today we're back with a lot of very good news from Nintendo. We got a lot to discuss, so let's jump in, because today we're covering things like that Nintendo Switch price drop I mentioned. Now it's taken an interesting turn. A Switch game got a big fix that was so needed. A Switch game is seemingly gonna be getting a surprise sequel soon, and a new Switch game is the indie darling that everybody loves, and I've played it. So what's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. I love you all. Make sure to hit that like button to give me some energy, because man, I have been carrying couches and tables and boxes, and my knees are bruised, my arms are shaky, and I need your strength. Also, let me know in the comments down below how you're feeling about today's topics. And if you're new here, welcome aboard. You found the most happiest, positive Nintendo place on all of YouTube, and I hope you'll stick around. Let's get right into it though and talk a little bit about what game got a nice fix, and that would be the dire straits of Sonic Colors Ultimate. A game that we were really excited to see Sega push out on Nintendo Switch, and then it was plagued with problems. It was a bad sign when it was first revealed that the game would not hit 60 frames per second on Nintendo Switch, but it was a far worse sign when there were all sorts of seizure-inducing glitches popping up in the game. Not to mention glitches where Sonic was falling through the world, the game was crashing, so on and so forth. Well, now Sonic himself has tweeted, "Hi everyone, we have deployed a patch for the Nintendo Switch for Sonic Colors Ultimate. This is the first of several patches for all platforms that will begin rolling out in the near future. Thank you for your patience." And some people have confirmed that yes, this does fix those seizure-inducing graphical glitches. So if you were holding off because of that or any of the other problems I listed previously, you probably are safe to buy the game now. Sonic Colors is still a good Sonic game, and even though it doesn't run as perfectly as it could on Switch, I think without the issues, you'll still have a good time, especially since they did come in at a more budget price point. Let me know in the comments if you now plan to pick up Sonic Colors Ultimate, or let me know if all this stuff has just made you want to skip it. SwitchForce is always on the beat, and late last week I posted a video saying there was mysterious rumblings that a Nintendo Switch price drop was coming, and then it came. So yesterday Nintendo officially dropped the price of Nintendo Switch in Europe by 30 euros down to 300 euros, and they dropped the price in the UK down to 260 pounds, which was a 20-pound drop off. Now, we were wondering if this price drop would come globally, because it seemed like Nintendo was doing this in order to reevaluate pricing points before the Switch OLED drops in just a couple of weeks. But today we have confirmation that Nintendo was just doing this for Europe, which is kind of a bummer, but it does at least let us know that, hey, the price points are gonna stay the way they are here in the West. So Stephen Totillo confirmed he got in touch with Nintendo today, and they told him that the trade price adjustment is for the European region only. There are no plans to change the manufacturer's suggested retail price for any Nintendo Switch model in the US. So that means the OG Switch ain't dropping to 250, and that means the OLED ain't dropping to 300. It means nothing is dropping, and the price points will stay where they are as we enter the holiday season. 200 for the Switch Lite, 300 for the Switch, 350 for the it's better but not all that much better Switch OLED. So it seems like this price point change really was due to currency exchange rates, and they had no plans of rolling this out globally. So it's less of a price drop and more of a price adjustment for certain parts of the world. Nintendo had a chance to really surprise us, but I guess when all is said and done, they're sticking to their guns, and why wouldn't they? The Switch sells insanely well. There doesn't seem to be a need to drop it $50, and if they did, it would create a weird chasm between the OG Switch and the Switch OLED, as we discussed, and that's currently something Nintendo ain't gonna be dealing with. So hey, if you were planning on getting a Switch or a Switch OLED, it's the price it is, and you don't have to worry. Nintendo won't be changing it anytime soon. What probably will be changing sometime soon though is the Nintendo Switch's upcoming release schedule. Still waiting on that September Nintendo Direct, but a new game seems to be emerging. A bit slowly, but it really feels like it's coming. Video Games Chronicle was talking with Platinum Games. They are the folks behind a lot of stuff, but these folks also made a new IP published by Nintendo back in summer of 2019, and that game was called Astral Chain. It was received insanely well, got an 87 on Metacritic, and people really enjoyed the combat. And I tell you all of that because in their latest interview, VGC asked Platinum Games boss Atsushi Inaba what Takahisa Tara was working on. Now, Tara is a really good director, and at one point Inaba called him their best director because he made games like Mad World, The Wonderful 101, Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, Nier Automata, and yes, Astral Chain. So VGC asked Inaba what's he doing now, and Inaba said, we've got to keep the superstar busy, he's working on something, but we can't say what it is. VGC said, okay, well, will we see it announced soon? And Inaba said, it would be nice if that happened. Now, he could be working on anything, but I want to pull your attention to an interesting tweet from summer 2020 that was deleted shortly after it was posted. Now, this tweet comes from Kamiya, who's probably the most well-known face of Platinum Games, and he was tweeting about Platinum Games' currently in development projects. He tweeted about Bayonetta 3, he tweeted about No More Heroes 3, and he tweeted Astral Chain 2, and then quickly deleted it. But of course, people saw it and news stories went up, and it seemed very, very clear that a sequel to the fan favorite Switch game was indeed in the works. And now with them talking about what Tara is up to currently and saying it would be nice if they could see it soon, and Platinum, we know, has been quite prolific lately, maybe Astral Chain 2 is something that pops sooner rather than later. As I mentioned, the original game launched in August of 2019, so it's been over 2 full years, and the game coming out sometime next summer would make a lot of sense. That would be a 3-year cycle on a game that got a lot of love, sold better than anticipated, and would be another nice notch in the Switch's ever-growing 2022 glory lineup. Let me know in the comments down below if you would be pumped about an Astral Chain 2 arriving on Switch soon, another sweet exclusive from Platinum Games. And if you haven't played Astral Chain 2, maybe give it a look. It's still a full price title, so make sure it is your cup of tea. But if you enjoyed No More Heroes 3 or anything from Platinum, or just like super stylish action games, this one could be for you. But you know what's for me, my friends? A game that I've been waiting for over 2 years. A game that looked like it bridged together a bunch of beautiful things I love, which is like fun, charming art styles, Legend of Zelda, Last of Us, a game that was initially announced in 2019 at an indie world long ago, and a game that's finally out this week. I'm talking about Eastward, the beautiful RPG from the fine folks at Chucklefish. Well, they published it. It's actually developed by Pixpill, and I have played it, and the reviews are out. And some people are saying this is a serious Game of the Year contender and beautifully blends The Legend of Zelda with Earthbound with a touching storyline, amazing soundtrack, great visuals, competent combat, fun boss battles, cool puzzles, and a lot of endearing townspeople. And I am so in. Now, I've just played a little bit because I just got code, but dang my dudes and dudettes and everybody else, this game has so much appeal right from the start. And according to reviews, it actually starts slow because it's like a 30 to 35 hour adventure. The game has an 84 on Metacritic and is yet again another stellar indie title for Nintendo Switch in a month that just seems to have so many great games. I mean, Deathloop just blew people away, got a lot of 9s and 10s, and here comes Eastward with a bunch of 9s of its own, and we might find ourselves picking Game of the Year from the month of September. It's not done yet, and there were plenty of other good games in the first half of the month, but I am happy to report that Eastward comes together. After all that wait, it would have really sucked if it didn't, but the writing, it's charming. Like, I'm someone that's impatient with video game writing, especially when it's not spoken, and I want to just mash through it. But I wanted to read the lines here because the characters right off the bat are endearing, they're likable, and you want to know what's going on. You play the gruff dude with the thick mustache named John, and you're followed around by the mysterious girl with long white hair named Sam. And they're diggers in some small village, and it seems like the story is going to balloon outward and upward very soon. Actually, I think it's gonna balloon eastward, judging by the title. You fight with a frying pan. The UI is really sharp. The in-game graphics are all pixely, but very colorful and just very curated, right? It feels like every little pixel was hand-placed. The soundtrack is instantly something you wanna have headphones in for, and I will say that the little puzzle solving and combat I did felt really nice. There's a cooking system, a crafting system, you're collecting all sorts of goodies, and there's even in-game games. Okay, like I played like an NES game, in the game. And I'm curious to see where that goes and how many more things like that there are. And as the adventure expands, what more is introduced? There's plenty of slots for new weapons and gadgets and gear, and it already seems like it's gonna have some definite parallels to Legend of Zelda Adventures of Old. I got bombs right off the bat, and there was a wall with a crack in it off in the distance, and I dropped a bomb and boom, opened up a secret room, grabbed a secret treasure, and felt so good. Even the special sound effects when you open a treasure box, hey, they're not the Zelda sound effect, but you definitely know where they're drawing inspiration from. And every second of the game, I was just enraptured. I was totally hooked in, and I did not want to put it down. But unfortunately, I got a lot of heavy things to lift, and this video to make, and emails to write, and food to eat, and sleep to sleep. So I'll have to get back to more Eastward soon, but I hope you guys are ready for this one. If you've been planning for it, it looks like all that patience is being rewarded, and if you haven't, you may have to add it. This one is long, which scares me a bit because 35 hours, that's a lot, especially during a very busy time for me and a very busy time for games. But man, if it just makes you feel good and it keeps evolving itself and it really is as polished as it seems from the first bit I played, then by golly, this is one that I will want to see through the finish, and I'm so glad that we finally arrived at the start. So Eastward is out in just a couple of days on September 16th. I think there's currently like a 10% pre-order discount. You can preload the game, but it'll be out available soon on Thursday. Let me know in the comments down below if all the positive reception and all the really good remarks, Game of the Year contender, such a good story, so endearing, a world you care about, fun puzzles, Zelda Earthbound, does that make you need to play this game? Let me know in those comments down below. All right, it's time for the poll, and this one was, I thought, topical because this was the kickoff for the NFL season. This past weekend, my Detroit Lions started the season without Matthew Stafford for the first time since I was 19 years old. It felt very weird and sad, and they're going through a rebuild, and I know they're gonna suck, but I watched anyways, and they actually almost won, which was quite shocking. Suffered some serious injuries, and their young studs played like stars. I asked if you guys watch any football on Sunday, and only 26% of you said yes, you did. 74% were too busy relaxing, resting, or playing Nintendo Switch, and that's perfectly okay. I just love the Detroit Lions, and I want to see how many of you were cheering on your home squad as we enter the fall season. Because for me, I know fall doesn't start until later in September, but when football kicks off, that's basically like, man, you might as well paint the trees orange. I'm ready for hoodie season, I'm ready for football season, and I'm ready to get looking towards Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas, and all the other fun holidays, and the big releases. So we got a lot of fun shows ahead of us. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. You know Good Morning Mario is the place to be for everything Nintendo. I got you covered, and I hope you're all having a wonderful day and week thus far. Make sure you're staying safe, staying healthy, staying happy, staying positive out there, staying patient for that direct. And until next time, everybody, I love you a lot. Hit that like button on your way out. I'll see you soon. SwitchForce out.